everyone and welcome back to Crafty Meraki's YouTube channel. My name is Aditi and I am back with some inspiration for y'all using the new release Artisan Flora Peony die set. Today I am creating a birthday card but with a twist, and that is celebrating spring. So for those who have a spring birthday, I think this bouquet card is going to be fabulous. I am using some muted colors from the Sizzix Surfaces colored cardstock, and I have a lilac, a baby pink and a pastel yellow, and I will use that to die cut the flowers, and then a light green and dark green to die cut some leaves. So I have die cut all my pieces, and I like to refer to the packaging guide just to make sure my pieces are lined up in the order that they go to when I have to glue and assemble them together. So just on my sticky grid mat, referring to the guide, I am placing all the die cut pieces in a sequential order. Once I know that, I have pulled out some of my inks. So for the yellow, I am using maple yellow and honey drizzle, leaving the lightest layers as is on the cardstock, but coloring a few layers with the mid yellow and then the base layer with the darkest yellow, just to create shades and gradients and adding those highlights and depth that I need when putting this flower together. So using colored cardstock comes really handy here, where just by a little ink blending you can step it up. You can create a variety of layers just with the same ink and going over multiple times, ink blending light-handedly, using a few shades. I think it really makes for some perfect blooms. So once I'm happy with all the colors there, then it's very easy. I use liquid glue and adhere the layers following the guide. Plus with that triangle die cut system here, it's very easy. You cannot go wrong. Just layer and make sure everything aligns perfectly well. I think it's pretty easy to put this bloom together. Plus I've realized now that I've done it about 2 times, once before and today, I don't necessarily have to refer to the guide as I finish creating the 3 flowers by the end of this video. I'm just able to put this together quickly, effortlessly, especially because I have all the layers also arranged sequentially. As you see, I am gluing the layers, and definitely now that flower is coming to life with the shading that we've done, the light layers, the dark layers, I think it adds for perfect highlights, creating that depth and shadow in the innermost layers. We have a beautiful yellow flower. I'm repeating the same steps for the bud, and just added a little inking on a few layers and then just gluing the layers down. I have all of that assembled. Now bringing my leaf layers back, I am using the light green leaf die cut first, and with the base layers I am going to add a little bit of a darker green ink blending just to create a darker layer at the base, so that when I layer the light green die cut elements over that, I will have nice shading for the leaves as well. So if you are somebody who doesn't enjoy coloring with mediums but would love to use these layered dyes, I think this is a go-to technique to die cut the layers with different colored cardstock. Sometimes you don't even need the ink blending. I used ink blending because I cut all the layers with just one single colored cardstock, but you could just cut the layers with 2 or 3 shades of the same color and then just assemble the pieces together to create a nice beautiful bloom. So I think this is a very easy go-to handy technique, especially with some brands selling gradient cardstock where you have 3 or 4 color shades for a family. I think a technique like this really helps in creating quick and easy blooms. So I am repeating the same process with the pink. I have pulled out coral berry, ruby red and grape wine from my alt new inks for the pink. And this time you see I'm using 3 inks, so I leave just the base layer light as the color of the cardstock and then bring about a variety of shades with the 3 ink colors that I have chosen. I think it's just giving me a lot more depth, a lot more dimension, that shading, the highlights that I need for this perfect flower. Again, with all the inking down in place, it is easy for me to adhere the layers. I like to use a tweezer just to hold one edge of my die cut layer and then apply the liquid glue and adhere all the layers down together. And just like that, effortlessly, my second flower cluster is ready. Moving on to the lilac, I have pulled out my shades of purple alt new ink, and I am repeating the same process that I've been doing so far for the yellow and the pink flower. Just ink blending, creating multiple colored layers, and then just adhering everything down together to form a nice purple flower. I think all of these together make for such a stunning and beautiful peony bouquet. And that's why I think this makes for such a perfect spring birthday card. Just brings in all the happy vibes, the vibes of flowers blossoming and new beginnings, a new year kickstarting with the birthday. I'm sure the recipient is definitely going to smile and feel happy when they see this card. So I have all my layers ready, and here I have a white iridescent cardstock. I am using the craft around cover die, and I have die cut that for my background, and that's all I need. I don't need anything else because my blooms are the highlight. So just using liquid glue, I am adhering this panel that I die cut with the cover die onto a white A2 card base. So it leaves a nice white border that I quite like. And then I'm just arranging my blooms just to create a nice bouquet right in the center of the card. I am definitely working on a landscape orientation here, and I am going in with the concept of threes when I do such a composition. So I have laid out the bigger flowers first to create this imaginary triangle, and then around those flowers I am layering two leaves and one bud, again in threes, you can see there, just there, enhancing this triangle that I already have going, but also creating a sense of movement across the card, almost like my floral bouquet is bursting from the center all the way outwards across the parameter of the card. So for my sentiment, I am using the Hugs Meraki Moments stamp set. I have stamped birthday wishes in one single line with black ink, and just trimming that off, I am creating a banner shape at both the ends of this because that just enhances my sentiment when I pop it up on the floral cluster. So trimming the two ends to create little triangles, giving it that nice banner shape. I am then using some foam tape at the back of the sentiment and popping it right in the center of my card on that floral bouquet. And before I forget, my white splatter, so I'm going in with the white acrylic ink, just adding nice white splatter across all over the peonies, enhancing the colors further. So doing that, I think it just adds so much more to this card. And that is a look at this card complete. I really love all the colors going here, definitely spring vibes. Do let me know how you like this, and until the next time, take care and bye bye.